Good morning, good evening, or whenever you are looking at this YouTube and Slack Unlock Code Academy family. This is Alex Horton, and I am here starting this particular video series of the service that I am going to be building. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to identify a few things. I said that I was going to chronicle how I was building this. And so what I'm going to do now is go over the project that I've built. So anytime you're going to create a new application, you want to have a project set up so that you can follow deliverables as you go along. So in my project, I've got a number of tasks, and I'll be working in a 2-week sprint on these tasks. So whatever I don't get done in this first sprint, I'll move over to the next sprint to work on. So there's some things that may get done and some things that may not get done. So first thing that I've done is I have created a project over on my GitHub account. And inside of this particular project, you'll see 13 tasks that I have to create and that I've created and I need to do. So I'll go over these one by one. First thing that I've done is I've opened a project for my PCParentService tasks. This particular project is going to be a service. And let me go to the actual project. And the service is going to track when users log into the computer. It's going to track applications that are launched, and it's going to log them to the Windows application viewer. If a user is idle after 20 minutes, I want my service to automatically kick them out, if possible. I'm also going to log when a person signs in, signs out, or any kind of application event that they do. Now, and this is kind of a misnomer, I only want to really log when they start and stop. So this email or SMS notification when service starts, that's just for the service starting, that I want to get an email or a text or an SMS. Over here, this is logging any application events once started. That log is going to log also to application viewer or to a separate log. And also, what I'm going to try to do, and these are more complex, is I'm going to track the internet usage in our browsers, and I'm going to close any browsers with a flag or a file that exists. So what I want to be able to do is allow usage of the computer, but let's say I want to hard close all of the internet browsers based on a flag that I can update while I'm remote. That is the goal of this particular highlight. And then obviously I'm going to document and record for posterity. Excuse me. It is 12:53 a.m. So I'm a little tired, but I'm recording this like I said I was going to. So let's go back to the projects real quick. And let's go into our project. So the first thing we're going to do that we've actually done is we've opened a project for our tasks. So this particular project deliverable is actually done. And so we can mark it as done, and then we can edit this note. Oops, sorry. What we'll do is we will mark this as done. The next thing we're going to do is I said I was going to research Fiddler for a possible solution of getting information from grades. So one of the other deliverables that I have in here is that I would love to be able to track grades. So here's the deal. What I want to do is I want to be able to track the grades of my 17 and my 13-year-old. And allow usage based on whatever grades they're getting. Now, I could go into the grade system or the parent system that we can log into and pull their grades every day, but I would love to be able to automate that. This might be something I would need to put into the next sprint, because when I started looking into this, this is fairly complex. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I can ask some guys that I work with how they might want to do this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new repository for code. So what we need to do is we need to come over to our repositories, and we've already got a repository set up called PCParentService. So we've actually done this task. So now what we're going to do is take this particular note and convert it to an issue and tie it to our parent repository. And we're going to say created project for story. So that's not an issue. I can come over here and click on the actual issue. I'll assign myself to the issue because I'm the only one working on it. And I can close that issue because it's done. So it shows it's done. So as I complete each task, what's going to happen is I'm going to move the workflow along. We won't mark this one as done, but we can mark this one as an issue and mark this one as done. Actually, let's put some a little bit more descriptive. Created repository for code. And I can move that over here to done. Click on it and say assign myself. That's done. It's already tied to the project. And I can close that issue. Let's keep them in the right order. Okay, so let's wireframe our application. I don't have Visio, so I'm just going to use, actually, let's convert all these to issues here. Let's just do it that way, convert to issue. So, and close that. Let's go full screen on this so I can get all the way to the bottom here. Convert this to an issue. Convert this to an issue. See, when you convert it to an issue, what you can do is you can link it to pull requests so that as I complete code, now obviously I'm the only one doing these, but as you can see, I do have a code review task in here, or issue in here, and I'm thinking about letting a couple of my coworkers talk really bad about me. So that might be something that I'll do. I don't know. Convert that one to an issue. Convert this one to an issue. Convert this one to an issue. Oh, there we go. Convert this one to an issue. And we're going to do the same thing with the last one here. Let's see. Uh-oh. It doesn't want to. That's a pain in the rear. There we go. Convert to issue. There. All right. So let's wireframe our application flow out. So to do that, we need to go back to our requirements in our project. And here's our requirements right here. And these two are not first time sprints, but these three probably are. Maybe these 4.5. Well, 3.5, 4. These 4 right here. We can probably do in the sprint not supposed to start until Monday, so 1-2 week sprint would put us at the 6th. I'm just getting some planning out of the way, but wireframing you can do way ahead of time anyway. So our requirements are here. So let's pull up our PowerPoint and come up with a really quick and dirty wireframe based on our requirements. Okay, so here's our requirements right here. So first thing we need to do is we need to track when users log into the computer. So let's do some shapes. And I can never remember which one is start. I think it's the oval right here. No, that's the terminator. So we know this is going to be our end over here. And we're going to have a start. Oh, this is the decision there. I can never remember. Is this start? No, that's extract. It's merge. I think that's the one there. That's data. Document. Alternate process, decision, off-page connector, connector. I can never remember which one it is. That's a terminator. Let's use this one. Uh-oh. There. Okay. We don't want to have a fill on the shape. No fill on that one. No fill on that one. Let's throw some text in there. Okay, so we're going to put start right there. Actually, nah, we'll do it that way, like I was going to do. Insert text box. Boom. Start. So this is our starting process here. And this will be our ending process. Let's group these together. Group. And then our ending process will be here. Like that. That, shrink that down just a smidge. It doesn't like the fact that I'm resizing the box, so boom. There we go. And so now what we've got to do is come up with how do we get from here to here and follow these requirements. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to access Windows, the computer's operating system, to tell us that something is logged in, that someone is logged in. So we're going to pseudo kind of flowchart this out here. So let's add another decision point here, another decision point, but another process here. Right there. No fill on the shape. We'll insert some text into the box there. And we're going to say user logs into system. Something like that, right? Uh-oh. Let's just scoot it over here. There we go. So the user logs into the system on start. Okay. We need to draw a connector from here to here. And then we come to our first decision point. Let's use this one here, flowchart. And our first decision point is going to say, is the user logged in? Yes or no? If the user is logged in, then we're going to do one thing. If not, we're going to do another thing. Let's draw a connector from here to here. This is an if conditional. So we're going to put in there logged in. And let's kind of beautify that up. Bring it up a little bit. Okay. Now, if they're logged in, we want to do one thing. If they're not logged in, we want to do another thing. Now, if they're logged in, we don't want to start the service. So this is at the start of the service. And the user logs into the system. And if they're logged in, what we want to do is we want to start the service. So we need to have a process or start process one there, which I can never remember. That's connector, off page, this, direct access, display, storage. There we go. So if yes, they're logged in, then what we're going to do, and we need to put our yes right there. Yes. Logged in there. And we're going to put our no here. No. If they're not logged in, it's going to be real simple. We want to end the process or end the conditional. So we're not going to start our we're not going to start a process if they're not logged in, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can't start a Windows, well, you can start a Windows service when a person logs in, but I only want to do this when they log into the system. Next, well, actually, I could probably start it prior to that. If they're not logged in, then maybe this will be an alert instead of a process ending. Let's copy our box like that. And if it's no, we might want to do this. Let's move all of our boxes down. We're going to draw a couple of connectors. Let's see. And let's draw that connector here to here. Actually, we need to draw it the other way. This one goes over here. And then this one goes here. Because it's just going to retry. It's going to keep looking for that condition. And then in that particular box, what we're going to do is wait for login, like that. So it's going to wait for the login. If they log in, it's just going to keep doing this if they're not logged in. If they are logged in, it's going to come down here. And what I want to do at that point is I'm going to alert or send login notification. So I'm going to alert via an email or an SMS that there was a login that there was a login event. That. Get rid of the. It doesn't want to. There we go. So let's save our flowchart so far. Not in our OneDrive. And we're going to put it just on our desktop for now. PC flowchart. Okay. So we're going to start our process. And actually, what we might do is we're going to switch this logic around just a smidge. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to use this one. Nope, I don't want it that high. I want it that high. Pull this one over here. Pull you over there. Pull you over there. Pull that over there. That down. That in there. we're going to put our notification there. And we're going to make sure that they're logged into the system first. And then what we'll do is we will send out our notification after that. On this one, we'll do that. Okay. There. Okay, so now we're going to start our service. We're going to say, are they logged in? Nope. Wait for the login and keep waiting until they log in. This is going to loop. We're not going to alert. We're not going to do anything. The service is just going to run. Once they log in, it's going to detect they're logging into the system. We should not have to wait for a successful login. So we're just going to go ahead and kick off the notification alert. To say, hey, there was a successful login. And so that is going to be another process. And on that, no fill. Actually, let me put that in a different box. We're going to put that in we're going to put that in this box here. Insert shapes. I guess we can just copy this one here. And then come down here. Change this from user logs in the system. We're going to send a notification. Begin monitoring apps. So we're going to track when they log in. We're going to start tracking their application launches. Yep, there we go. Then come down here, put an arrow there, and now we'll put a decision there with no fill on it. We'll put another arrow there. And we'll put there's no fill, but what the heck? It should be black. App launch. App equals browser. Okay. So if the app equals a browser, so there we're going to begin to monitor apps. If they launch an app and it's a browser, then what we need to do is we need to come over to our database, which should be a cylinder. Where you at, yo? Where's my cylinder? I think it's, there we go. So if the app is browser, what we want to do, just don't fill that up there. And we're going to say data check flags in DB. So what that's going to do, it's going to reach over on some kind of a storage, a database, or something, and it's going to check to see if the user is allowed to utilize a browser. So we'll copy their yes. That. If it's no, copy that, paste that, get just a smidge smaller. Delete that. I'm going to say log update update the logs. I don't know how long we're going to do that for, though. We don't want to blow up a log. So if it's a no, what we'll do is we'll just log the application into the application viewer, and then we will, I don't like that arrow, we'll make it this arrow. You go there, and you go there, and you come back here. So, say we're working. Let's go from the beginning. We're going to start our process. The person's gonna try to log in. If they're not logged in, it's gonna wait for them to log in and keep looping through here before it does anything else. If our service is started and they log in into the system, we're gonna send a notification of the login. We'll start to monitor what apps are being used. if the app happens to be Firefox or Chrome or something like that, we're going to check a database flag. We're going to add some more logic over here in a minute. If it's not a browser and she's using, or they're using like Word or Windows or something like that, I mean, Word or PowerPoint to do homework, then what we're going to do is we're going to update application URL logs of what they're using, and then we're going to continue to monitor apps. So on every app that's launched, we're going to do this process. We're going to do this check. Sweet. Now, let's come over here and continue our logic. Now, if the person who logs in, if we check a flag, and the flag is, you know what? We're just gonna copy this right here. Why reinvent the wheel, yo? You know? There we go. And just draw an arrow there. Drag it out just a little so it's matching. And in this, we're going to say flag equals yes, equals true. Now let's make it a one character. So this flag equal yes. Let's make that just a little bit bigger. If flag equals a yes, then we want then either way what we're going to do. So the flag, it's going to be the stop, start, or allow, disallow decider. If the flag is a no, which means if flag is an in or null, which means that there's nothing in it or it's no, then we don't want to allow access to any browsers. That means that grades aren't up to snuff, and we don't want to allow access to browsers. So if it's a no, then what we want to do is we want to write update login. Oh, we want to log the login, log the attempt. Log attempt. So, log attempt. So what that's going to do is it's going to log the attempt to use a browser. It's going to tell me, hey, so-and-so tried to use the internet and they're not allowed. So I need a notification box over here. I don't like how that's lined up there. Put it like that, more like that. Oh, now it doesn't like that either. Come on, really? Just make it a little bit bigger. There. Okay. So instead of this being a login, we're just going to make it send a notification. Copy that. Paste that. We're going to send a notification that somebody tried to log in. Log the then once we send a notification, what we're going to do is we are going to kill that app. So we're going to terminate that process. Can never remember which one it is, y'all. That's an off-page connector. We'll just use this one again. And we'll send that. We've sent the notification. We're gonna terminate browser process. Boom. Actually, we probably want to do that after. We want to send a notification after we've terminated the processes. Because if it doesn't work, we want to be notified of that too, right? Okay. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to terminate the process. Send a notification that the process was terminated. We're going to log it, terminate it, send a notification saying, hey, somebody tried to log in and they're not allowed to. And then we're going to log that. And continue monitoring. And in here somewhere, we've got to do a check for if they're logging out. If they're logging out, we've got to stuff that process in there somewhere. Yeah. And we may just make this the process. So the main process. So if the flag is yes, then we want to log that attempt. Just like the other one. We want to send notification that somebody is logged into that process. Actually, maybe I'll move it down there. No, that should be fine. Log the attempt. Uh-oh. We're going to send a notification. Put you over there. Log the attempt, send a notification. And we're going to continue to monitor the apps in the service. So if it's yes, we log it, we send notification, and we'll continue monitoring apps. And instead of it saying monitoring apps, we'll make another box here. And we'll call it continue monitoring apps. And that's the one that's going to be connected to that. Or we'll pretty this up in just a minute. Boom. Boom. Okay, let's see if I can't send everybody up a little bit there. Yep. Do the same thing to you. Should I put you a little further back over here? Just a smidge, right? Come on, right there. And you can go up there. Save it. We'll put another elbow in there. There. Save that. So come in. Is the browser acceptable? Yes. Check the flags. So flag yes, yes, log it, notify it that an app browser is being used, and continue to monitor. If they log another one, we just loop that through. If not, we've got a kill there. And at any time, I'm going to put this off on the side over here. Just make that a no fill. If log out, I'll just make this real quick and dirty. They log out, we want to end the process. I'm not the best at making flowcharts, but this is just a real quick and dirty flowchart. So now we've got a flowchart. And I can actually just take a picture of that. There we go. Save it. PCParent. Okay. Save that. Close that. I didn't even do this part here, but we can add that another time into our flowchart. That's going to be another page of our flowchart, another part of the process flow. So let's add our documentation to our flowchart. Go to details. And open up my files. Oop, I just saw it. Go to oh, they're just on my desktop. There they are at the top. Move that over. Drag and drop those. And I'll just put a comment in there. Added first version of Flowcharting. We've got a link in there in the description. So now we've got something to start with as far as our flowchart is concerned. I guess I can assign myself to this too. And we'll put documentation on there. Actually, yeah. There. So now, on my project, click on it, shows that this should be in process. And then once that's done, all I do is I just move it over there to done. I guess I could put that there now. Yeah. So once we get done with this, then we can actually start building some logic into our code. One other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those files to my project real quick. So they're on my desktop. And this is a repository. Do we really want to do that? I don't want to do that yet. And let's do it anyway. We're gonna drop over there. So added first versions of flow process flow. Commit. Now, once we get ready to start coding, we'll have our master branch. We'll create some bare bones basic code. We'll put it out there on the master branch, and then we'll make a working branch after that. So there we go. If we go back to our project, click on there. We've got an in process or in progress task. We've got 10 other tasks to do in 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. So there we go. We've actually started our project, and so as we make milestones, we'll move stuff over and go from there. And actually, this one here, let me convert that to an issue. I'm going to put more research needed, add to next sprint. So then we'll move this over to done. No, we'll leave it there. We'll move it down. No, we'll leave it alone. Just for now. If we get to the point where we don't think we're going to get to it, then we'll move it into the next. We'll make a new project and move this into the new project. So, and actually, let's just add a column and say next sprint. Create. So I'm going to go ahead and move that into next sprint. There we go. There's our project. We've already started. And we're making pretty decent progress right now. So, all in all, this should be fairly exciting for those who have never seen this process. Again, this is not a finalized process, and this is not typical because I'm the only one actually working on this. Usually somebody else is being the project owner. I'm not driving requests and requirements and all that stuff. And also, there's usually other developers working on this along with me. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the video now, and we'll pick up when we get to the next video. Peace.